Yo, 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 yo. Welcome in, man. Another edition of the ChrisBeCappinn NBA show. We are live on a Wednesday evening, November 23rd, 2022. We got a lot of games to get into. No games tomorrow, which is bittersweet. It's gonna be good not to do a podcast in the morning and take a day off, but it's not gonna be as good, later on in the evening when we don't got anything to bet. So strap in, man. Grab your paper and your pencil. Get your sports book out wherever you betting at, and listen up. I got a lot to share, of course, and I'm not gonna be long winded. I'm not gonna touch on every single game. Try to keep you guys updated as much as I possibly can on all of the news that's going on. All the news that's going on as far as injury stuff. We are still waiting on a few things as well. So let's jump right into it, man. Yesterday I only had one official play. It was the Sacramento Kings, minus the one because I did get the worst of that number. They were able to win that game after blowing a fourth quarter lead. Shout out to De'Aaron Fox. He looked out for me last night. So 1-0 yesterday, 3-0 on Monday. Trying to carry that on. It feels good to have an O at the end, even if it is just 4-0. I haven't been playing a lot of volume plays, but I have been winning. Trying to get back on the winning track. So this week has been a lot more successful. And today we're trying to keep it going, man. We're just trying to keep it going. Always, always, always trying to keep it going. So let's jump into the card for today, man. We got a lot of stuff. We will talk about a couple. I broke down, I think, about 4 or 5 games, but then I went official on the Timberwolves, and we'll get to that game. But let's start out in let's start in Charlotte. So we live in Maryland. Let's get this cheese. Yeah, shout out to Maryland, man. Shout out to Maryland. My mom actually from PG County, so I got some ties up there. I got some family ties up there. I'm in the DMV every now and then. But shout out to Maryland, man. I know FanDuel just went live in Maryland, so yeah, shout out to Maryland. Hit that like button for me too. Retweet the show. Do all that good stuff for me. I appreciate you guys for being here and rocking with me on a Wednesday, man. Let's get into the slate, man. Let's go. So like I said, I'm gonna try to keep you guys updated. We got Isaiah Jackson just got rolled out in the Pacers game. We got Dean Wade. Looks like he's gonna make his return. He remains probable for the game tonight against the Portland Trailblazers. Dragic has been ruled out for the Chicago Bulls. But let's get to it, man. Tiffany, what's going on? Akbar, my guy. Let's get into the games, man. So 76ers, Hornets. I talked about this one early on the morning show. Philly coming in off the big win last night. Second night of back-to-back with travel for them. Also, their first road game since having 5 straight home games. I talk about always fading that team, right? Always fading that team. First, I know somebody cashed on it because they added me yesterday, but I talked about even fading the Kings, even though I was on the Kings, fading the Kings early first quarter in that one. I didn't play it, but I gave it out. I know somebody played it because they DM'd me and was like, yo, appreciate that, Chris. But you want to fade that team. Typically, it takes a while to get into the offense, right? Like to get your flow. And the 76ers team, big emotional victory yesterday. Shout out to Philly. They did it for Philly. I see Breezy in the chat. All my Philly guys, shout out to y'all because I know that was a big game for the 76ers yesterday with the whole Ben Simmons thing. But Philly should struggle today, right? Off the big emotional games, typically you struggle in that next spot. So I think Hornets early. The only reason I haven't played Hornets early, and I got a trend I want to share with you guys. The only reason I haven't played it quite yet is because the Hornets actually stink in the first quarter. They're losing the first quarter at home, specifically by like 4 or 5 points, and that's a little challenging for me to be able to push the button when I'm looking at a trend like that. So Philly, I talked about it. 5-1. They won 4 of their last 5 and covered 5 in a row. Like I said, first road game in 6 games. The Charlotte team, they've lost 3 in a row, 9 of their last 10. They come home off the 2-game road trip and haven't played a game since Sunday, so they're the more rested team. And I think it's a reason why they why they opened as favorites in this spot. Opened at 3.5. I think now it's all the way up to like 5, 4.5, something like that. and I didn't get there. I don't want to get there at this number, so I just kind of stayed off. But I wanted to have that in my pocket. I won't lie to you guys and tell y'all that I wasn't looking that way. I talked about it this morning. The number kind of got away from me. I was busy throughout the day, so I didn't play it. I do think it's a Charlotte spot though. Charlotte's not just gonna be laying points, right? Like, bro, we got Charlotte's one of the worst teams in the NBA. It's the reason why they're laying points in this one. Desperate team looking for a home win. Especially going into Thanksgiving, give them something to look, feel good about. And I think Philly got the big win that they wanted last night. So I can see them kind of reverting back to the mean. I'm not saying that they won't play hard. I just think that Charlotte matches their energy. So I didn't get there with this one. LaMelo is still out. We know Philly's still shorthanded. No Embiid, no Maxey, no Harden. Thibault also was listed out. I think Tobias, he was not listed on the injury report. We should see him in this game. One of the things I was looking at, so dating back to 2020, a couple years ago, teams that were previous home dogs with a line of 7 points or more. So I'm talking about the Philadelphia 76ers. And then away dogs in the next game with no rest. They are 3-15 straight up, 7-11 against the spread. And that's good for 61% cover rate if you wanted to take Charlotte tonight. Those teams, they are losing their next game by average of 14 points. That being the team that was a previous dog at home of 7 points or more. Then they go on the road and they're another dog, and with no rest in between. So, it's a pretty wide sample. I would like it more if LaMelo was playing, but like I said, they're losing those games by average of 14 points. That's an 18 game sample, and I think you look at Charlotte early in this one too. That same trend that I just the SDQL trend that I ran for you guys that I just shared also had the home team winning the first quarter by average of 4 points. So I do think that Charlotte first quarter is in play, although they are really, really terrible in this. They really are really, really terrible this season. So two things kind of going back and forth. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys. A prop that I'm looking at, prop that's probably not on the radar of a lot of people. Shout out to my guy. Shout out to Monotone. I know we talked about it last week. I don't see him in the chat right now, but Nick Richards, his rebound prop is actually up. I know we talked about it the other day. Dude is massive. Like he gets all the rebounds. As long as the coach actually puts him in the game. Rebounds at 5.5. Man, he's cleared that in back-to-back games with 10 rebounds and 14 rebounds. So simply put, I see a lot of misses from the Philadelphia side today. I don't think their offense looks as fluent as it did yesterday. I think Charlotte, they come out and try to play the best version of whatever they would consider defense. And Richards gets to these rebounds. He's been getting close to like 20 minutes. If he gets 25 minutes, I think he doubles this and gets about 12 rebounds. Dude's a rebounding machine. I think he clears his number pretty easily. Potential ladder spot. And I did play it. Half unit play for me, but I did play Nick Richards over 5.5 rebounds. Something that I was looking at for sure. Let's see. Let's keep going. And it's a lot of other props. Like I always say, I don't want to dominate the time. If it's something that I don't have on the game, then I'm just trying to keep it moving and go into the next game. So next game up, let's go to this Blazers and Cavs game. Blazers come in, losers of 4 in a row, so it should be the motivational spot for them. This will be their second game of the road trip. They lost to Milwaukee on Monday. They covered that spread by 1. They are one of the better road teams as well, ATS-wise. Them and the Sacramento Kings, they're 8-1. This team is 8-1 ATS on the road, 6-3 straight up on the road, which makes it really hard for you to bet against them. This Cleveland team, though, they are picking it up. They're 7-1 straight up, 6-1 at the crib at home. This will be their 4th straight home game. They've won the last 3, all by double digits. I'm not betting against this Cavs team right now. And I'm not typically betting against a team that's playing, their 4th straight game at home. So for me, it's Cavs and nothing. I know money did come in on the spread in this one. I couldn't talk anybody off the Cavs, not off the Blazers, keeping this game close and losing by, 7-6, something like that. But I'm not willing to take it. So hope that makes sense. I'm not playing this game at all. I do think that it will be close enough that Donovan Mitchell probably will go over his player prop. But that's just a look that's something that I was looking at. Darius Garland also has been really, really good. When you look at his points, his assists, I can see him kind of keeping it going. Kevin Love did get ruled out. Of course, Damian Lillard is also out. Karis LeVert is also out in this one. So the Cleveland Cavaliers will be looking to Lamar Stevens and Isaac Okoro and guys like Seti Osman to continue to provide some offensive spark off that bench. So the total in this one, I think it dropped as well. I talked about this one on the morning show about potentially taking the under. It was only sitting at 217 when I looked at it earlier, and I was talking about taking the under. Of course, I didn't get there, and if it's come down 4 points, it's all the way down to 213, which I don't like that number. I think that number is a tad bit too low, but maybe it goes even under that. This Cleveland Cavalier team can score. The books are indicating that they think Portland plays defense in this one, and that Cleveland does as well. So a lot of money coming in on the under. Like I said, it's dropped 4 points, and the spread has gone from 8 down to 7.5. So do with that what you want. Let's keep going though. All right, so next game up, Timberwolves and the Pacers. I talked about this one being an official play. If you guys checked out the Bet US video that's posted on my page, Timberwolves, they come into this one winners of 4 in a row, 1 day's rest. They won 3 games in a row. They won 3 games in a row, then went 3 road games in a row. Went home and beat the shorthanded Miami Heat team after being down in the first half. They had to find something on Monday to come back and win that game. They didn't cover the spread. Now you get them tonight in Indiana. The Pacers have been red hot as well. They're 6-3 straight up and against the spread in their last on the season so far at home this year. And they've won 5 in a row and 8 of their last 10. The Pacers, they're 8-3 straight up. I went to go look at Miles Turner because I know how good he's been playing and how good they've been playing with them. So Pacers with Miles Turner, they're 8-3 straight up, 9-2 against the spread, and they're also 4-5-2 to the under. They're 5th in offensive rating and 2nd in defensive rating over the last 5 games. So tall task at hand for backing a team like Minnesota tonight. To me, this one just feels like a Timberwolves spot. When you go back and dissect who the Pacers have played against versus who the Timberwolves have played against, I just feel like there's some separation when you talk about quality of team, right? So looking at this Pacers team, they're 5-0 ATS. That's meaningless right now. What I was looking at, the actual opponents, right? The Pacers, they've covered twice against the Nets. Against the Nuggets, that's pretty impressive. Against the Rockets, for me, all of the 2 times that they covered against the Nets was before the Kyrie suspension, before Steve Nash got fired. So of course that they count the NBA teams, but the most impressive one is the Nuggets. You don't really get a lot of kudos for beating the Hornets or beating the Rockets. And for me, the thing that I'm looking at when I'm looking at all these teams is none of these teams actually play defense. The Nets weren't playing defense before Steve Nash got fired. The Nuggets, they still don't play defense. The Hornets still don't play defense. And the Rockets, we know that they don't play defense anyway either. So the Timberwolves are a team that I think can match up defensively. I think they probably, are looking forward to a game like this, especially being on the road. Really being a good test for them. I like that the spread. I love playing spreads where I don't have to, have the team win by 7, 8, 9, 10. Y'all notice I don't give out too many spreads where, you need a team to win by 4 or 5 possessions. I like trying to dissect which team I think is better based on a 1, 2, 3 point spread. So I'm on the Timberwolves. I took them officially at -1, -2. I took them at a -1. I played up to 2. I think it's back down to. It's actually at 1.5 right now, but I think the Timberwolves win this one. I think it'll be a close game, but I think they win by more than a possession. So, maybe by 3 or 4 is what I would project in this one. Both of these teams rank top 10 in defensive rating over the last 5 games. I was looking towards the under. I didn't get there. The total is actually gone up, so I might end up taking the under. It opened at 235. It's all the way up to 238 at some books. It's at 237.5. These totals that get inflated like this, they can go over. I was looking at running some SDQL earlier, specifically for the Atlanta Hawks and the Sacramento Kings game that I think we're going to talk about next, because they have the highest total of the season so far at 241 points is what it's went up to. So yeah, these totals can go. I'll probably stay off the total just because whatever I take, I feel like the opposite will happen. But the Timberwolves, they play well. The last thing I'll say about the side before I move on to player prop. The Timberwolves, they're 6-2 ATS in their last 8 games in Indianapolis, so they do play well in Indianapolis, in Indiana specifically. And like I said, it feels like a Timberwolves spot. I'd be looking towards the under 2, but I didn't play the under. I do like the under. I think it's a defensive game more than the books are anticipating. Halliburton, have to be looking at Halliburton, right? I think his whole PRA line is actually in play. I know some people have been playing his assists. I think they're 10.5. Some people have been playing as points. When you look at how bad this this Timberwolves defense is, specifically against point guards in the last 7 games, they're giving up the most points to point guards, 31.79 over the last 7 games against point guards. That's 3 points more than any other team. The Sacramento Kings are second worst, which people may want to look towards Trae Young tonight, being at the crib. He hasn't shot the ball well at home, but Trae Young definitely should be in play. His points should be in play. But going back to this Timberwolves defense, 31.79 points, by far the most in the league. I think Halliburton point prop is only sitting at 19.5 right now. We know what Halliburton has been doing assist-wise over the last 5 games. He's averaged 12.5 assists. And the Timberwolves are allowing teams, the opposing point guard, to make 4.5 3-pointers. That's by far the most in the league as well. So I like Halliburton all around. The Timberwolves also not doing a great job of not giving up rebounds. Point guards are averaging almost 7 rebounds per game, which is what, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. They're giving up the 7 most rebounds. I like Halliburton over his whole PRA line, over 34.5, especially with the minutes that he's playing. The point spread is indicative of a really close game. So I like the Halliburton PRA line completely over. Something that I haven't played yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and make that official. I'm playing Halliburton over his whole PRA line, points, rebounds, and assists over 34.5. I'm gonna put that in as soon as the show ends, so y'all don't hammer that too much. And what up, Freeminds? I see you in here. What up, Markel? JT, the whole crew in here, man. I appreciate you guys. Hit the like button for me if you guys are watching on YouTube. I'm gonna keep going. So Kings and the Hawks is the next game up, and like I said, this total was all the way up to 242 points, and it's still up to 242. Some books got it at 241.5. That's the highest total we've seen all year. The highest total we've seen all year long. Crazy high total. This game is, I think, going to be bananas. And I did make a play in this one. I jumped on the Kings when they were +5. Upset I didn't get I think it was +6 when it first started, +6.5. I missed the best of the line last night. I fell asleep trying to handicap some of these games. Quite simply put, I just feel like the Kings are, I don't think any team right now could beat the Kings by 6 points, honestly, especially not this Hawks team. And situationally, of course, that has to be taken into account. They did play heavy minutes last night, but I talked about it on the morning show. This team is so young, right? Like, when you think about who's on this team, De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, Keegan Murray, the only OG they really got is Harrison Barnes. Everybody else is extremely young. Kevin Huerter, revenge game. I think that's a narrative that needs to be taken into consideration. We know that he was in Atlanta last year. They shipped him out, to Sacramento. So I think this is a really good game to create a same game parlay. And somebody DM me. I didn't hit you back, but somebody did DM me and ask me, could we do a stars will be stars parlay? So maybe we'll get to that. I think this is a really good game to, probably pick a couple legs in this one specifically. The spread in this one has come down from the 6.5 to 4.5. And like I said, the total opened at 239. It's all the way up to 242. I think I'll probably stay off the total. I'm not ever going to play a total that's that high, indicative of 120 plus 120 points. But I will say Sacramento, they can score. They're scoring everywhere. I think they're averaging 123 points at the crib, averaging 117 points on the road. Atlanta's offense does average less points at home than they do on the road. And I'm not 100% sure why. Their offense has been better. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. The Hawks offense has been better on the road than they have at home. So at home this year, they're averaging 113 points. They're giving up 113 points. That's only 226 points. Total being 242. And they played against some pretty good teams as far as, teams being able to score. And you take out the Raptors game that was 124 to 122 last game that went to overtime. Even against the Celtics have the second best offense. That game only got to 227 points. So I like I said, I think the total's a tad bit inflated. They did go over when the Jazz came to town, 119 to 125. Quick math, that's what, 242. So that one did get there. Against the Bucks, that one went under. The Pelicans, they got to 145 points, 245 points. So that one did go over. So yeah, I probably stay off the total. But my point in looking at this is the Hawks, they're averaging 113 points at home. When you look at the Hawks on the road, they're actually averaging 115 points. So they are rested. The Kings actually are, I think, a much better defensive team than people are thinking that they are as well. When you look at the Kings in away games, they are giving up 115 points. They're scoring 117. So that's what, 232 points. I think Jordan McCaughlin just got ruled out. I think I like the total to go under. Like I said, I'm probably not gonna play it, but everything kind of for me just kind of looks towards the under. They're 4-3 to the under on the road this year. I'll probably stay off of it, but I like the under. Put it like that. I am official on the Kings plus the. Like I said, I got them at +5. I think it's a winnable game for them. Even if they do lose, I think it'll come down to the last second shot. Atlanta does get crazy and they turn up on Fridays, man. But this Atlanta team is just a tad bit different, and I think that they have been functioning better on the road than they have at home. Especially when you think about the Hawks, not the Hawks, the Raptors coming in there and barely losing that game. They should have won that game, and if the Raptors can do it shorthanded against that team, then I feel like Sacramento with their offensive capabilities, they can as well. So long story short, or long story long, because I feel like I took a long time on that. I am official on the Kings plus the 5. I like the 4.5, but I didn't play it. And I also, like I said, I will be looking at Trae Young props in this one. I think he has a really good game tonight at the crib. High scoring game, so a lot of points being projected to score. And then, of course, you got to look at Kevin Huerter. I know he played last night, but I'll still be looking at that one. Next game up, the Mavericks and the Celtics. Spread in this one opened at 6. It quickly came down to 4.5. When I talked about it on the morning show, if you guys tapped in, I was not aware. I felt like I didn't see Jason Tatum roll his ankle. I watched the end of that game against the Bulls the other day, and he was still out there. So I didn't think that he was even listed as questionable, but he rolled his ankle, was listed as questionable. On the opposite side, Spencer Dinwiddie popped the shoulder out of place. He did say earlier that he's going to play. Tatum is still listed as questionable, and Maxi Kleber is listed as doubtful for this one. Let me just make sure I have the most updated stuff. This game's pretty much extremely difficult to cap without knowing the status of Tatum because he is such a high usage player. He averages 30 points. I think he's leading the league in scoring, if not like top 3. If he's not, he's definitely top 3. So, yeah, that makes this one difficult. Let's see what we got. We got Kyle Anderson, a game time decision. We got that's all we got. Kyle Anderson, Justin Winslow will start ahead of Shaedon Sharpe. I actually like Shaedon Sharpe in this matchup tonight too for the Blazers. I'm a big fan of Shaedon Sharpe. I like him a lot. But back to this game. One thing I'm looking at, and I know Schroeder popped out of place, but to me it feels like it popped out of place and it popped back in, which I think is like a tad bit better, right? Clearly, if he's playing in this game, I think the books may have lowered his point prop just a tad bit too much. Adjusted like based on the injury just a tad bit too much. When I was looking at his line earlier, and I'm pretty sure it's still the same, Dinwiddie PRAs all together was 23.5. Now we know the Celtics, they like to get out. They play a lot of offense. This total is extremely low for them because the Mavs do play at extremely slow pace. Total is only at 218.5. But we know Spencer Dinwiddie is he's the second guy in line, right behind Luka when it comes to this offense. So I'm looking at, let me just look real quick. I'm looking at Dinwiddie PRA line at 23.5. He only had 19, 20. He only had 20 in the last game against Denver. That was the second game against Denver in the back-to-back spot. Well, not the back-to-back spot, but back-to-back as far as playing Denver twice. He had 18 in the game before, but the game before that, he had, 21. The game before that, he had 20. 25. To me, it just feels like they're going to have to keep pace. And I think somebody's going to have to score. He's the most, he's the, the secondary ball handler, the secondary playmaker. And maybe you don't even look at his rebounds. You just look at his points plus assists. Maybe that's a better look because now that I'm looking at his rebounds, he don't get none. So I think his points could be in play. I also think his points plus assists could be in play. And let me see what I see that line at right now. Let me check real quick. Mr. Spencer Dinwiddie. Because he is going, he said he's going to play. And if he's going to play, I expect him to be out there and be able to kind of get his numbers. His points right now is 15.5, and his assists are 4.5. So you can get his points plus assists at 20.5. To me, that just feels doable, especially against the Boston team. Especially if they both end up playing, I think Spencer Dinwiddie has to kind of keep serve with this high-powered Boston Celtics offense. So I will be looking at Spencer Dinwiddie props in this one. Luka numbers are extremely high. His points, rebounds, and assists are 48.5. So the books are anticipating that he goes off. If you look back, though, I did check his game logs last year against Boston. Spencer Dinwiddie, Luka Doncic didn't hit this. He didn't have 50 or 49.5 PRA in any of those games last year. It was more like a team effort, specifically when he went out there to Boston. So Spencer Dinwiddie, let's see, let me just look at his game log versus Celtics specifically. 18, 5, and 4 last game, which was on March the 13th. So he's cleared it. It looks like in 3 of the last 4 games. Overall, he's only played against them once on this Dallas team. He played 37 minutes in that game on on March the 13th. So I would be looking at Dinwiddie props. I think Dinwiddie's a nice pivot off of Luka in a game that's probably speeds Dallas up just a tad. Well, they might not speed Dallas up, but I do think that Dallas will have to score to be able to hang around in this one. No Tatum does Dallas win. I think Dallas can win this game. I do think that Dallas can win this game. I feel like I don't even know what the Boston Celtics offense look like without them. I will say that their offense is a machine. We've seen guys be out of their rotation, not Tatum specifically, but we've seen guys be out of that. We've seen Jaylen Brown sit because of the foot injury. Well, like taking the night off because of the foot injury. We've seen Al Horford sit out. So I would expect for a guy like Malcolm Brogdon to come in and kind of keep it going. I definitely will be looking towards the under if that took place as well. I'm interested to see this game, and honestly, I hope Tatum plays. I want everybody to be in, and if everybody does play, I talked about it earlier. I like the Celtics in this one to cover the 4.5, even though the only time that the Dallas Mavericks have been away dogs this year was in the first game of the season against the Phoenix Suns, and they did cover that spread. They lost the game, was winning most of the game, but they did end up covering the spread. They were 4.5-point dogs in that one. I think they lost the game outright by 2 or 3. So Dallas has proved that they can play up to competition, but we've seen Dallas also. I think they're like 1-8-1 on the road this season. They just haven't looked like their normal selves on the road. Granted, those have been in bad spots for them. Games where they've been favored by multiple points. They went to DC, sucked it up. They stunk in DC on a game where I took them, and then they also Scotty Barnes just got ruled out. They also looked horrible in Orlando, and so yeah, they zoned up, said Dallas has been a letdown. Yeah, they have been a letdown, specifically at the crib. They even lost outright, in a game they were double-digit favorites. I think they were 10th. Fred VanVleet just got ruled out. Oh man, I was looking towards that under. I should have definitely hopped on that. Scotty Barnes and Fred VanVleet. You got to be looking towards Brooklyn in that one, and I really wanted to get on the under. I think it was 215. Let's see. 222.5. That game's definitely going under now. Brooklyn should come back with something for sure. If you guys want to hop on that one, I do think that Brooklyn comes out with something, especially after laying an egg and being called out by Coach Jacques Vaughn last night in Philly. So even with the travel in that one, so yeah, that spread is definitely going to start to shift, and I do think the total will probably start to come down just a tad bit as well. But yeah, that's what I got. Markel said he leans Jaylen Brown points. You got to, especially if Tatum doesn't play. I will be looking at Marcus Smart assists as well. Oh, just breaking news. Tatum ankle will play. Okay. That's what hold on. Let me see if I can put this bet in real quick. Because I told y'all I like Boston. and that's the only thing I was looking for. And he won't have a minutes restriction, and it's locked. Oh man. So that didn't work. But yeah, I liked Android locked up so quick. I do like I said, I like the spread will probably move from 4.5 to 5 with Tatum being in. It might even go up to 5.5. I think the total also is going to shift up as well. When they put these totals out, they have a even middle ground between whether Tatum plays and whether Tatum's not going to play. They're not going to have that total sit there at 218.5 if they think that he is going to play or isn't going to play. So it's kind of baked into the line already, given the news of him being questionable. I do expect to see that line go up, the total go up. So moving on, and I've been talking already for too long. I'm actually going to skip a couple of these games just because I don't want to talk the whole entire time. I want to hear from other people as well. That's the Mavs and the Celtics, and I feel like it's still so many more games to go. Let's see. Mavs, Celtics, Wizards and the Heat. Wizards, Bam is questionable. Bill is questionable. Tyler Hero is questionable. Matt Strus is out, and Duncan Robinson is already out. Just based on all of those questionable marks alone, I'm staying away from this one. I'll skip this one in case if we get information out, I might end up playing it. But I'm gonna skip over this one. Nets and the Raptors. I just talked about Scotty Barnes being out. Fred VanVleet's out. Seth Curry is out on the Brooklyn side. Watanabe is also out on the Brooklyn side as well. You get the Nets coming in here off the loss last night in the super flat spot, unmotivated spot. Well, should have been a motivated spot, but they looked unmotivated. The Raptors coming off 2 days rest. They are 5-2 ATS at home this season. The Nets are 0-4 ATS off a back-to-back this season as well. The Raptors, they're 2-0 ATS with 2 days rest or more this season as well. Both ATS wins came against the Atlanta Hawks. And I just got in my notes that I leaned to under 225, under 222.5. I think Brooklyn brings something defensively. We know with Toronto how they can stifle you with their defense, specifically in Toronto as well, specifically when they're rested. But now that Fred VanVleet and Scotty Barnes are out, I'm not interested in playing that game. I'm staying off of that one. I do think that, we still could look towards the Raptors rebounds. This Brooklyn team struggles to rebound the ball. They are atrocious at rebounding the ball, offensively, defensively. But I'm not going to touch on that game too much. Bulls and the Bucks. Bulls are coming in this one off the win against the Celtics the other day. That much needed win. They really needed that win. The Bucks are coming in off the win against the Portland Trailblazers. They didn't cover that big spread. I was looking at the Bucks first quarter, first half in this one, wrote it down, jotted it down, but haven't really capped it at all. Dragic has been rolled out. He's the primary, ball handler on that second unit. This Bucks team, Drew Holiday hasn't looked like himself. I'm looking for a big game from Drew Holiday, and I think this will be his third game back. Something I haven't played. I would be looking at Bucks first quarter, first half. We know what they do typically at the crib. This is a revenge game for the Bulls. I do want to mention that the Bucks did put these guys out last year, out of the playoffs in the first round. So yeah, nothing strong for me in that one at all. Nuggets and the Thunder, also a game that we're still waiting for information on. Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Michael Porter Jr. all listed as questionable. Bones Highlands is already ruled out. And Pokusevski has actually popped up on the injury report as questionable as well. He was ruled out yesterday for today, but now he got upgraded to questionable, so he might play. I like the Thunder in this one. I haven't played him yet, but I do think that if you want to play him, when initially they were dogs, and I like taking the Thunder as dogs. I think I've talked about that before. It seems like a winnable game. I don't like playing them as a favorite. I think it's a live betting opportunity, especially if the Nuggets come out with something early and then they play all their guys. The Nuggets don't typically get motivated for these type of games where, they play down to their competition. We saw it last night against the Detroit Pistons when they were like 11-point favorites. So I kind of feel like Jokic and Murray won't play just because it is second night of a back-to-back and you have the conditioning aspect. But who knows? Today's NBA, who knows? That's why I don't want to, talk about this game too much. I do think that SGA is in play though. I know he's not coming off the greatest game. Last game against the Knicks, and I would look for him to have whatever he want to have tonight. I think PRA is in play. I think his points are still in play, And this is just like off top of my head. I didn't even, I wrote it down, but I didn't do a lot of research on it. Let me see what SGA lines are sitting at right now. 29.5. I think SGA scores 30 tonight. Let's see. His rebounds, 4.5. His assists, 5.5. And this minus 140. So a lot of juice there. His PRA line altogether is 40.5. I think he could score 33 points and 5 rebounds and 4 assists tonight. I like that line. I like that line a lot for SGA. Regardless, it should be close. If those guys are all ruled out for the Nuggets, of course you got to look at. We don't even have player props for these guys. All we got is KCP, Katavious Caldwell Pope props on the Denver side. But you got to look at Bruce Brown, especially with Ish Smith got upgraded to questionable, but Bruce Brown PRA line got to be looked at. This Thunder team's not playing defense, so you got to look at Michael Porter Jr. as well. But I'm not going to spend too much time dwelling on that game. Pelicans and the Spurs. Line opened at it's up to 7 now. Real short line. Pelicans have been at the crib for an extended period of time. First road game for them, I think, in 5 or 6 road games. Injury wise, Josh Richardson and Zach Collins are both out. Jakob Poeltl said that he will play in this one. This Spurs team has looked really, really bad. I think defensively, they've given up 120 points in every single game. So what I got written down is Pelicans team total over. That way I don't have to worry about them covering the actual spread. Right now, you can get the Pelicans team total at 118.5. I think it's a game where they score 125 points. I like their first half team total. I like the full game team total. But I think my favorite play would probably just be the team total over 118.5. I'm gonna put that. I didn't play it yet, but that's what I got written down, and I'm probably gonna make that an official play as well. I think the Pelicans kind of keep it going. They are starting to transform into what I thought that they could be, and that's both offensively and defensively. So I think that they get to 120 points in this game. I think they could get to 125 points in this game. They have everybody in. The only player, I think Trey Murphy is ruled out in this one, but Zion, CJ, Brandon Ingram, Jose Alvarado, Herb Jones, Jonas Valanciunas, Larry Nance Jr., all these guys are still in. Najee Marshall, these guys are still in, and they can score. The Spurs like to play fast too, so it's the perfect recipe. They remind me a lot of the Rockets last year. So over 118.5. Next game up, and we got 2 more left, and then I'm gonna be quiet. I can't wait. Pistons and the Jazz. I don't have a lot on this game either. Alex Burke is listed as questionable. Sadiq Bey is listed as out. I probably will stay up and watch this one just because it's one of the late games, and I like watching the Jazz play. I really do. I like the way that they share the ball. I think the biggest play in this game for me would be the Jazz first half. If you guys have been watching this show, y'all know that I pulled the trend up the other day. The Jazz have been one of the more profitable teams in the first half when you're thinking about a first half spread all season, right? I can't remember exactly what that number was, but I'm actually going to look at it again real quick. So, and I'll share my screen too, so you guys can see it if you're watching on YouTube. So let's see what the Jazz are. So Jazz first. Am I on first half? Yeah, first half. At the crib are 6-1 against the spread in the first half. I don't know if you guys can see. Well, yeah, you guys can definitely see that. 6-1. One of the only teams in the NBA. Them and surprisingly the New York Knicks. 6-1 against the spread at home this year. Is the Utah Jazz. Look at my Lakers, 8-2. That's crazy. Okay. If you look at both, let's see where the Jazz, the best first half team in the league, 13-6 overall. In the first half, 6.4 units. Return on investment, 30.7%. So they have been the most profitable first half team. Detroit, of course, coming in on the second. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, but I wanted to show that to you guys. Detroit coming in on second game of a back-to-back, in altitude as well. Really hard to play. Denver didn't play against Utah the second night, which is why I think all that's kind of baked into the spread, being at 12. That's an extremely high spread for a team like the Utah Jazz that we didn't think would even, ever be, top 4, top 5, let alone have the best record in the Western Conference. I see AOD said Boyan revenge game. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. He could try to light his team up for sure. I'm not sure what his point prop sitting at. I know it's typically hovering around 19 and a half, 18 and a half. The Jazz have been shuffling guys in and out. Of course, they don't have Sadiq Bey. They don't have Big Beef Stew down low. But they still been, excuse me, they still been competitive, still trying really hard. Guys like Marvin Bagley III, right? He would be somebody that I'd be looking at, because one thing the Jazz do is they run you off the 3-point line. They don't care if you score inside the paint at all. They don't care at all. Like, Kelly Olynyk is not the greatest defender, but he does well moving his feet, taking charges. And then, of course, they have Kessler Walker. This guy is just swatting stuff down there when he gets his 15 to 20 minutes in a game. So, yeah, I could see it. I could definitely see it. Bojan Bogdanovic, I probably wouldn't take his threes, but I think playing this player, his points, looking at a guy like Isaiah, like Ivy, like Jaden Ivey, these rookies who I want to say this is third game in 4 nights for Detroit as well. So you definitely, if you want to play somebody on the Detroit side, you do have to look at some of these younger guys who, going to play a lot of minutes. And that's what Detroit is right now. They're a young team, full of youth, right? So that's that game in a nutshell. I think Clarkson player props should be in play as well. And let's get to the last game up. The Clippers versus the Warriors. Shout out to my guy RC, man. I was actually watching his show earlier, the Triple Double show through Sports Memo. You guys should check it out if you haven't already. And he had an interesting breakdown in this one that I agree with. I absolutely agree with. The Clippers, they're going to be extremely short-handed in this game. They'll be without Kawhi. They'll be without PG. They'll be without Luke Kennard. So it'll be a lot of Norman Powell. It'll be a lot of Markieff Morris. And it'll be a lot of Reggie Jackson, of course. A lot of John Wall as well. The Clippers, they're a really good defensive team. Not so much though when you take PG and Kawhi out the equation. I think the Warriors actually smacked the Clippers tonight. I'd actually think that they cover this point spread of 10, especially coming off the 45-point loss to the Indiana Pacers. They're extremely rested, off a loss at home in their next game as a favorite. That's typically when you want to bet on the Warriors. Let me see if I can run that query real quick and show you guys what that looks like. So, and then I'm gonna be quiet after this one. So I'm gonna open it up to you guys. So Warriors, in a previous loss, and now they are home favorite. This year, let me share my screen real quick so you guys can see this. This year specifically, you guys can see, and I'm gonna zoom in, make it just a tad bit bigger. You guys can see that this year they're 5-0 straight up, 3-2 against the spread, winning those games by average 122 to 108. That's what 14 points. Winning those games by average of 14 points. And they've won 2-3. They didn't cover against the Kings twice, which we know the Kings one of the better teams in the NBA right now. But they smacked the Heat up, they smacked the Spurs up, and they smacked the Knicks up. And without PG and Kawhi, I would actually argue that the Knicks might be better than the Clippers without PG and Kawhi. And one of the other things I wanted to look at, because this Warriors team is still composed of all of the guys that they typically have. Going back to last year, they're 19-3 straight up, 14-8 against the spread, which is 64% against the spread, winning those games by average of 12 points. You guys can see average score 114.68, so pretty much 115, and they're giving up 102 points in that spot. What else we just got? We got DeAndre Hunter available to play. The Raptors are extremely short-handed. Wow. Bill, Monte Morris, and Rudy Hachimura are all game time decisions. Yeah, that's what we got. So yeah, I think I think if you look at the first quarter, first half in these, you see a 3-point margin in the first quarter, 29-26. You see a 4-point margin in the second quarter, so that's 59 to 50, 59 to 40. What's that? 52, 59 to 52. So 7 points in the first quarter, dating back to last year, is what the Warriors are winning by when they've lost their last game and they're the home favorite in their next game. If you were to look at that for this year, it's happened. They've lost and then been a home favorite 5 times again. And in those first quarters, you guys can see this margin, 33.4 to 28. So that's a 5-point margin in the first quarter. You guys see the second quarter, 32 to 30. So that's what, 65 to, I'm sorry, 65 to what, 58. So that's another 7-point margin. I think RC play was the first half minus the 6 for Golden State. I think I'm gonna tell them on that. Golden State minus 6 in the first half. Golden State first quarter as well. Anytime you lose by 45, and it's not like, of course, Steph, Clay, and Draymond didn't play in that game, but anytime your team loses by that many points, they know that they lost. Like, they were there for the game. They just were sitting out. You still kind of got to come back with something. And I think what better time to come back with something than against a team that's not going to be as not as good as they typically are defensively, is what I'm looking at. No PG, no Kawhi, 2 of the better perimeter defenders in the league. So I'm probably going to go official and just tell RC that's not my play. I would never steal anybody's play and say that it's mine, but I'm going to tell RC Warriors. I'm probably going to watch this game too. If you guys like that, y'all might want to take it too. That's Warriors first half minus the 6. And like I said with the Jazz, minus the 6.5. I really like that play as well. Haven't got there with Spencer Dinwiddie over 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists, but I'm probably going to play his points and assists. What did I say that number was at? I think I saved it. Give me a second. Spencer Dinwiddie. That total did go up. It went up to 220. And we don't have lines for anybody now. So, all right, cool. I'm probably going to end up getting there. The Pelicans team total over the 118.5. I'm going to make that an official play. I already said I was official on the Timberwolves minus the 1. The Kings minus the 5.5. So that's 1, 2. Halliburton points, rebounds, and assists. I'm going official on that. 1, 2, 3. Pelicans team total 4. Jazz first half 5. Warriors first half 6. Spencer Dinwiddie points and assists 20.5. That's what I'm gonna make official. I'm gonna say it one more time real quick. Timberwolves minus 1, Kings plus 5.5, which you can't get that now, but I like that one in. Halliburton points, rebounds, and assists over 34.5. The Pelicans team total over 118.5. The Jazz first half minus 6.5. The Warriors first half minus 6, courtesy of Ronald Cobain. Spencer Dinwiddie over 20.5 points and assists. Now, what y'all on, man? I'm done talking. I feel like I done talked too much. Send me a request over on Twitter, and I'll get to all of them. Let's see what y'all said in the chat real quick. Line didn't move with Tatum in. I don't think I even saw that, Fremont. I didn't get a chance to go back and look at that, which is why I got to hurry up and get off here so I can go back and do some capping of this game real quick. I see it move. I see it moved, Fremont. It went back to 6. Boston's now favored by 6. It was 4.5. JT said he on Denver first half minus 2. Good luck, JT, especially if you don't know the information about the starters for Denver. Best of luck on that one. Duggan said, yo, that 3-point parlay Finesse had hit the other day. Finesse gave out a 3-point parlay? I don't know if Finesse did that. He might have. I don't remember that one. Myron said he thinks Kelly Olynyk is cooked. He cooks tonight. Jared Vanderbilt rebounds over 8.5. Did I break down the Bulls in the Bucks game? I did. I talked about the Bucks first half. I'm not playing that game though. And I think Drew Holiday probably has a big game. He hasn't played well. So I look for a bounce back from Drew Holiday at the crib tonight in his third game back. Tatum ruled in without minute limit. Appreciate that, JR. West Weston, no way this happens, but let's just say for tonight. Yeah, we got to talk about that, man. I tweeted it out yesterday. No way. No, somebody give me one when y'all come up and share y'all plays, man. I'm pretty sure somebody got something crazy that they want to share. No way this happens, but let's just say. I think that's gonna be a segment on here. No way this happens, but let's just say. No way this happens, but let's just say Philly wins without Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and James Harden against a Brooklyn team at full strength. It's a sad day in the NBA, man. Yesterday was a sad day. They created the segment, but it's not. It's more than them. Markel said, "Come on, Chris, bet that SGA sleep good tonight." Yeah, I'm SGA gonna be on my short list, man. I already talked about it. Close point spread. SGA back at the crib, coming off a bad game. Hopefully, a lot of people not on him. It's a good time for me. I feel like it's a good time to get on him when everybody else not on him. I like to fade the public. Damian say he taking the Celtics. All right, cool. All right, let me hear from you guys. Let me get LJ up first. I know LJ been waiting, I think, the longest. Barksdale, I see you in here as well, my brother. I'm gonna get you up, and then I'm gonna come to Ben and Bookie as well. LJ, what's going on, my brother? Can you hear me?
What's up, Chris? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You live. What's up, LJ? How you doing, bro?
What's going on, man? Happy Thanksgiving Eve to you,
Absolutely, bro. Right back at you, man.
Yeah, man. I just took some time. I've been off for a couple of days, man. The job been killing me, but I had a little time today to cap some games and try to throw some props at you, man. Let's see if we can cash before this Thanksgiving. So.
Let's do it. We got to do it today, LJ, because we don't got no basketball tomorrow. So we either gonna be real happy in the morning or we gonna be real sad.
Hey, facts for real. So let's try to beat these bookies, man. Let's start off with the Portland and the Cavs game, my brother. I'm gonna take Josh Hart. 2+ steals, plus 100, because the Cavs allow 9 steals a game. They're allowing 9 in their last 3 games, and Josh Hart has had 2+ steals in 4 straight games. So I'm gonna take a shot on him. I was looking at Darius Garland over 3.5 threes, but they got it juiced at plus 114 because he's averaging 5 3-pointers made at home, and he's shooting 50% from the 3-point line in his last 3 home games. So I believe that's why they got that number juice. So they're going to make you pay for it, but I'm going to stay away from it. But I do believe Garland will cash his points, and he will get that 3-point prop, but I'm not going to take it. Let's move on to the Kings and the Hawks game. I'm going to jump on Sabonis. Over 11.5 rebounds, minus 129. He's averaging 12 the last 5 road games. He's averaging 13 on the road on the season. And the Hawks allow 54 rebounds at home, and they've allowed the second most rebounds to the center position the last 3 games. Let's move on to the Bucks and the Bulls, man. This is a big rivalry game. Giannis owns the Bulls. So I'm going to take Giannis's points over 30.5, minus 104. And I'm going to take his rebounds over 11.5, minus 132. The Bucks have beat the Bulls 16 out of the last 17 games, man. And Giannis has averaged 28-6, and he averaged 28-13 and 6 in the playoffs versus the Bulls last year, and he averaged 27-14 and 5 during the regular season. So I do believe he will get his 30 tonight. He's averaging 30 at home, I do believe, as well on the season. So I'm gonna jump on Giannis tonight versus the Bulls. I was looking at CJ's assist prop, man, but I'm just too scared because he's not a true point guard, and the Spurs do allow 30 assists a game on the road. Or are they at home? I think they're at home. But either way, they do average 30 assists pretty much home and away. And the Spurs also allow 9 steals a game. So you can look to see on some Pelicans who, think to get the steals or the assists. But I do like your team total because the Spurs do give up 120 points on, as on a game. So I do like your Pelicans team total, but I'm going to stay away from that one. I'm going to do Michael Beasley, man, for the Utah Jazz. Over 3.5 3-pointers because he's averaging 4 3-pointers made at home. So I'm going to jump on that one. I think that's a sneaky look. I'm going to try to take that one in cash. Also, man, I'm on Steph Curry and Golden State with you tonight. Over 27.5 points because he's averaging 32. He's averaged 32 of the last 3 games versus the Clippers. He's averaging 32 at home, and he's averaging 35 versus the division on the year. So I do believe Steph Curry will clown tonight at home. And last but not least, Shai Gilgeous, 2+ steals, plus 100. He had 2 steals the last game versus Denver, and he's averaging 2 steals at home on the season. And I'm going to take some team totals tonight. I'm feeling kind of frisky tonight. Like you said, we got to cash before Thanksgiving.
Let's go, LJ.
I'm locked in, bro. So let's go on and jump on this team total for Oklahoma City, too. Over 115. Because Denver allows 120 points on the road, and OKC is averaging 121 points in their last 5 home games. So I do believe they'll get that 115, and I'm a good jump on the other side with Golden State. Team total over 57.5 in the first half because they average 61 points in the first half at home. And considering the Clippers are shorthanded, I don't see Golden State having any trouble putting up points tonight versus the Clippers.
You said 57.5, LJ?
Yeah, over 57.5 first half points.
I like that. I like that look a lot, LJ. You got some fire. You got some heat out here, LJ. I like these, bro. I like these, man.
Like I said, I'm trying to cash, man. We got a day out tomorrow. I'm going to cap my football, too. So we got football tomorrow, but this NBA going to be off for a day. So we got to get it, man. We got to get this good.
Nah, that's a fact, LJ. I appreciate you sharing the looks, bro. I definitely appreciate you sharing the looks. One thing I want to ask, LJ, you can respond to this if you want to. If not, you don't have to. But people who, anybody who comes up that want to, I see JR said DraftKings got a boost. It's Luka, SGA, and Steph all to score 25 today. And LJ, I know you talked about taking Steph over his points. Do you feel you're not scared of the blowout potential with the Clippers being shorthanded and everybody else kind of being able to kind of chip in?
I mean, if it is a blowout, I think he will have his prop before the blowout happens.
You think so? Okay.
30 in the first half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Steph comes out strong, so I do believe. Plus, it's a division game, and Golden State they had the night off the other night. They didn't play. So
that's a fact. Yeah, he gonna be fresh. Yeah, no, that's a fact. That's a fact. Okay. Best of luck to you, LJ. I love the looks, bro. I know you went heavy tonight, but I like them, man. I like them a lot. I hope you cash every single one of them, my guy.
Sure, man. Appreciate you for having me on, man.
Absolutely. Every time. Every single time, bro. Let's go to I think somebody dropped. So let me kick it to Ben real quick, and then I'll get to Bookie and then come to you, Vaughn. What's up, Ben?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How you doing today, Ben?
I think this is one of those days where, if we do a good job distinguishing between what we think is going to happen and what we actually will bet is what's going to happen, we could have try to be a little more selective just because, we got 12 games, right? Like,
absolutely, man.
Yeah, so I'm trying to be a little more selective on these slates, and I think if we do, we're going to be really good. I'll start with I played the Nuggets team total under this morning at 118.5. I think it's since dropped with everyone going questionable. Just watching the conditioning level of Jamal Murray and Jokic last night, that team, especially defensively, just died in the second half last night against Detroit. They just gave up. And then obviously Detroit almost let them back in right at the end. But, if they're actually worried about those two guys conditioning, I don't think they play tonight. And without Murray and Jokic, I think Denver's averaging like 100 this season. So, you look at that roster, if Bones Highland don't play and Murray don't play, who in the world is going to play point guard? And if Jokic don't play, who's going to score? I just don't see any way that they get to 118 or anything close to that. I think it's sitting at 114 or 115 right now. I feel very comfortable at that number if those guys don't play. I'm assuming the books lowered the team total because they're expecting them not to play. So that was the first one that I locked in. With that, I also took the Thunder on the money line. I think the Thunder get it done if those three don't play. Moving on, I really like Kevin Huerter tonight. I know Atlanta's been good defending against the three, and I know DeAndre Hunter's probably going to play tonight, but Hoyter has just been, from a shooting percentage standpoint, been really good, and the only thing that's holding him back from being a 20-point scorer is really the volume. If you look at his volume, he's just not a volume shooter, but when he gets the ball, he puts it in the bucket. I think he's shooting like 48% from three for the season.
Yeah, you know what? You know what's funny about that, Ben? They don't really need him to be, Like, it's weird because, like you said, if he shot more, he might be on an all-star team. But when you got a guy like Malik Monk coming off the bench, you know what I mean? And all the other guys, I mean, they have a lot of scoring, especially from the guard position. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of throw that in real quick.
No doubt. And so I think the only thing that would hold him back from getting him to his line tonight is the volume. But I think with him coming back to Atlanta, I just don't see volume being an issue. I think that they're going to put DeJounte Murray on Fox, and I think Fox is going to have to distribute a tad more than he usually does. And I think just the motivation, Hoyter being back in Atlanta is what's going to get him to that, 12 to 14 shot attempts, hopefully 9 or 10 attempts from three. And I'm always wary on these guys that score like half their points from three. But he's just such a good shooter. He doesn't even have to get to his average of 47% from three tonight if he's taking 8-9 attempts for him to get to his points prop. They got his prop all the way down to 14.5. I know that number's speaking to an under for him. I'm going to take the bait. I'm on it. I think he gets to 12, 14 attempts tonight, and I think we get there. With him, he's averaging close to 4 threes a game this year. We don't even need him to get to his average to score 15 points today. If he makes 3 threes and a couple twos, gets to the line once, we get to that 15. And we always know that players coming back to play against their former team usually bring it from a volume standpoint. They just got to make the shots. I'm on Halliburton just like you are. I'm just playing the points. I've noticed when Gobert plays, he sags off a lot of those pick and rolls. Versus Towns likes to kind of go under the pick. So if you look at the splits, just the last 7 games, kind of 6 games, however many it is since Gobert's been back, I think that's why we're seeing the uptick in threes made from point guards and points scored from point guards. Whereas before, I think a lot of people in here talked about playing point guard assists against Minnesota. That was kind of when Towns was going, trying to beat the screen. And, no one was kind of going with the big man to the rim. And guards were just chewing Minnesota up alive, in the paint, giving it to big men to finish at the rim. We're getting a really good price on Halliburton at 19.5, given the numbers that you said before.
Absolutely.
This line would have come out at 21.5 or 22.5.
Mm-hmm.
If he had played the fourth quarter the other day, he probably scores 24 or 25 with ease. I mean, he was at 18 at the end of the third. He didn't play the last 14 minutes of the game. If he gets the 24 or 25 the other night with this matchup, we see 21.5 or 22.5, which he probably still clears tonight. But with us getting it at 19.5, that's just too good a price. I want a unit on 19.5 and a half unit on 19.5 plus 3 threes for plus 160.
Love it. Love that part of it too, because I already talked about them giving up the most threes to point guards. I love that look.
Yeah, just to get the plus money on there. Oh, I completely forgot a point about Hoyter too. Now that I think about it, the other thing, we see a total of 241.5. You said in that game.
242. Yeah, depending on where you're looking. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
You got Fox, who's at 25.5. You got Sabonis at 17.5, and you got Hoyter, who's 14.5, who Vegas says is going to be the 3rd best scorer on the floor for Sacramento today. If they're going to get to their team total tonight at 117.5, which I think all of us think is very much in reach, they have to have 3 guys score 15 points. They have to.
Absolutely.
Probably more than that, right? So
right.
That was the final point on Hoyter that I forgot. Sorry, I'm driving.
No. That's totally fine. Ben. I love your looks.
Rebounds bet that LJ said before. I won't speak to that just because I'm all over that too. But he already covered it pretty good. I love Reggie Jackson tonight.
Okay.
Reggie Jackson's averaging 18.5 field goal attempts per game this year without Paul George. I love that John Wall is playing, so Reggie doesn't have to be the primary distributor. He can play a little off the ball sometimes and move around and try to get to his spot without the ball and maybe a little catch and shoot, not have to worry about, getting everybody else involved.
Excellent point, Ben. Excellent point.
If he takes 17, if he takes 18 and a half attempts tonight, he is scoring 16 points. Like, I will bet that 100 days out of 100. If you guarantee me that he's going to get 17 attempts, he went 17 to 20 attempts the 2 games without Paul George this year. Even if he doesn't get the 20, if he just takes 17, he's probably scoring 16, points. We need 15 and a half. The Warriors are not world beaters on defense. They're definitely not world beaters against guards on defense. We saw this Clippers team last year playing with basically the same personnel they're playing with tonight. Last year be very, very competitive. I mean, they were a play-in team. I don't think this is automatically a blowout spot. Like, I think that, everyone makes really good points about Golden State covering tonight. But just because they cover doesn't mean they're going to win the game by 25.
Right.
I think we still see enough minutes from Reggie Jackson. Like, I think we still see 30 to 32 minutes from Reggie Jackson. Again, if he plays 30 minutes, if he takes 17-plus attempts, we're going to cash this in the third quarter, I think. So that was my last point.
Yeah, love it, Ben. I love that look, man. And the other thing I think is important to mention as well, Ben, and I don't do the greatest job of doing this, is like I get so caught up in the spreads, but looking at that volume, right? Like, somebody is going to have to score, like you said, right? We know Reggie Jackson can get hot. He could get hot and have this at halftime. It's not like the Warriors are out there, playing the most elite defense this year. It's actually their worst defensive year. So I love the look, Ben. I love Reggie Jackson. I'm gonna actually add him to my list.
When you're playing guys to score 30, 32 points in a game, right? There's not a lot of ways to get there, right? Like, you kind of got to be good early and you got to be good late. But if you're playing guys, points props who we think have a good matchup with volume to score between 14 and 17 points, they can get that in a half. He could come out bad in the first half, get it in the second. He could have it by halftime. So there's a lot of different ways that Reggie Jackson can get to that 16 tonight.
Yes, sir. Love the looks, Ben. I hope you cash them all, and best of luck to you, my guy. Let me kick it to Vaughn, and then I'm gonna come to you, Bookie.
Oh shit, my bad, bro. You heard me? I thought you was going to Bookie first.
Oh, nah, you good, Vaughn. Go ahead. I'm gonna kick it to Bookie next.
All right, bet. So we got a few, man. We looking to get right, man. So I'm with you on a couple. So I'm with you on Minnesota. I got it at -2. It just looks like Minnesota has been playing better. Also has been playing better competition. I think you already spoke about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then like looking at Indiana, I don't know. I just see Minnesota winning this game by 6 or 7 points. With just watching the teams, knowing the game, kind of just following along. And then with Minnesota, I seen one of the reports was that their coach was talking about the team getting booed at home. So he was like, if you don't want to get booed, you need to play better. So I think them going on the road might actually be helpful, kind of just take a little bit extra stress off. Nothing like, playing bad and being booed at the same time.
at the crib, right, Vaughn?
You can just be bad. So I think they come out a little bit more relaxed. I wanted to get behind Minnesota in the first quarter, but Indiana been at home for about 5 or 6 days, and it's just hard to get. It's hard to go against a team that's been at home, especially in the first quarter, first half.
Oh, Vaughn, you might have talked me into something, bro. You definitely might have. I think I know we talked about it. We talked about it the other day, Vaughn. I think you was in the space. The Pacers are not great at the crib, bro. Not even at the crib. Just they're not great in general. In the first quarter.
First quarter and first half.
Yeah, we cast on Orlando. So that might be it, Vaughn. I'm looking at it right now. I'm gonna pull it up real quick so you guys can see it on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. Pacers at home so far this year in the first quarter, they're losing by an average of 5 points, 26.7 to 31.4. And if we go back and look at just first quarter spread, let's just look at the first quarter spread so far. For both sides, you get let's see where the Pacers rank. Indiana is 5-10 in the first quarter. First quarter spread 5-10-1, and at home specifically, they're 3-6. 3-6. Actually, the second worst, tied with a whole bunch of teams, but second worst in the first quarter. Vaughn, that might be it, bro. That might be it. Let's see. Let me just see how Minnesota does.
Hey, look, I can tell you this because I already kind of copped it. All the numbers go in your favor, honestly. I just had a couple more plays that I like, and I already had some other plays in this game, and I've learned my lesson so far this year. We're having multiple plays
in the same game. Yeah. Now that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. Well, yeah. Let I digress, Vaughn. I'm gonna kick it back to you, bro.
No, but look, I'm with you though. Like, if it's a hell of a play if somebody want to take it, but so I'm with you on the -2. I'm with you on Halliburton. I played the points and assists. So the reason I like the points and assists is what you talked about with Minnesota being bad defending the point guard position. If you look last 5 games, last 10 games, entire season, but especially these last 5, they've been especially bad giving up points and assists. So I just look to kind of attack that number. And then also in this game, you have a lot of you got multiple bigs playing. So you got Gobert and Miles Turner. You also have Towns and Isaiah Jackson.
I think Jackson got rolled out, Vaughn.
Oh, he out?
I think he got rolled out. Yeah, I want to say I saw that. Jalen Smith, right? Yeah, he's still in.
So you got 4 bigs playing, and those long rebounds, you got a lot of athletic guys on the court. So I don't see as many rebound opportunities. So I took the points and assists for Halliburton. I think I got it at 30.5. I'm with you on the Kevin Huerter revenge line. I played it at 15. I took Miles Turner rebounds at 8.5. I got it at +115. So the reason I like that is playing against Gobert, you know you're playing against somebody going to be close to the basket. So it's just going to allow for a lot of rebounding opportunities. And I got to lean to the under in this game, honestly. I think this total just a tad bit too high.
Mm-hmm.
Even though both of these teams are not great defensively, like historically, they've both been pretty good over the last 5 games. So I played Miles Turner rebounds, just anticipating a little bit more misses than usual. And typically these fast-paced games allow for a lot of rebounds. I also played DeMar DeRozan points at 25.5. So we look at the last couple games, he's taken 24 and 30 shots. And then also him versus the Bucks in general, including the playoffs and the 4 times they played last year. DeRozan has a 31.3. He's averaging 31.3 points per game, and also has a 34% usage rate against the Bucks last season. So I like the DeRozan points. I like Vanderbilt assists. So his assist line is at 2.5. Without Mike Conley so far this year, short sample size. It's only been 2 games, but he's played 5. He's averaging 5 assists. He played 5 assists and 7 assists in those 2 games without Mike Conley. God damn, a lot of people out. So I like that, and I'm gonna play it up to 4 as well to get some plus money. I'm watching Vanderbilt, and all he do is dunk. If he's not dunking, he's passing the ball out. I do see some good rebound opportunities, especially for somebody who been smashing their rebound line over the last couple games. I like Trae Young assists. Last 5 games, he's had at least 9. And in 8 of his last 9 games, he's only had less than 9 one time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to parlay Trae Young assists at 9, Clint Capella rebounds at 10, and Sabonis rebounds at 11. Somebody already talked about Sabonis rebounds. And we're gonna get that at plus like 218. If enough people play for the Heat, I'm gonna take them first quarter, first half. We talked about that. Those teams that's been at home for 4 games or more, going on the road. I went and capped it the second half of last year and so far this year. I think those teams that's been at home for at least 4 games or more, that first game on the road, they're losing the first quarter. Like that line is hitting at 68% of the time with them losing the first quarter. So I'm gonna take Miami first quarter. If they got enough people to play, you know how Miami been doing.
So that line to move like crazy, Vaughn, because as you've been talking, Rui Hachimura got ruled out, Monte Morris is out, Bradley Beal is out, and the line was at 3.5. I was looking at it live, trying to jump on the Heat real quick. The line was at 3.5, and it just locked up. So that's gonna be a crazy spread, probably.
And so look, I made a mistake and took their first quarter already at 0.5. I made a mistake and took it. I was looking at it and trying to do something else at the same time. I only played it for like a quarter unit, not paying attention. So that I guess it's gonna turn out good for me. Hopefully.
Yeah, it should.
Let's see. I think that's all we on, bro. So just to kind of make it official, I got Minnesota -2, Halliburton points and assists at 30.5, DeRozan points at 25.5. Love his usage rate. Kevin Huerter points. And to be honest, bro, I got a few too many plays. I really want to get there with you on that first half for Golden State. I think we talked about it. I think it was a situation earlier in the year where it was kind of this same scenario where the game before they didn't play the starters, they got their ass whooped, and the starters are coming back and basically just in a good spot, especially because I think it's like them returning back home as the home favorite, like +7 or more. I think you end up running a query for it. I think I'm going to end up getting there with that Golden State first half. I'm going to let some of these other plays kind of sort themselves out, though, because I don't want to get too many units going in one night. But appreciate the love, bro. Appreciate all the tidbits. Appreciate you allowing me the opportunity to come up here and speak consistently. And big love to the morning show, bro. I'm listening every morning, no matter what. The analysis is always there. It's always a head start to a good day. Like I said, whether I end up playing anything or not, the analysis is there. And then also you and company as well, because some of the guys you mentioned a lot, I end up listening to. I follow Ski. I listen to Ski a lot. I'm listening to J Money every day. I'm trying to listen to Ronald a little bit more. So those guys, they provide a lot of good insight. Even the guys that's on Jay's show when Shark come on there. Just a lot of sharp knowledge, bro. So I just want to say I appreciate everything more than anything else.
Absolutely, Vaughn. I appreciate that, bro. Appreciate you showing the appreciation, my guy. Let's get to some money tonight, Vaughn. I think you got some real good looks, man, and I hope you cash all of them. We got about 6:35. So I'll let everybody that's still up here go, and then we're gonna get ready to shut it down. I'll do a quick recap at the end of everything that I'm on official and some late looks that I'm looking at that I haven't locked in yet. Bookie, I want to kick it to you before I kick it to Snag.
What's going on? I'll start with the over, so I'm scared to go away with the unders. But so yeah, I'm on Halliburton over 3.5 PA. I'll be quick because everyone's talked about it. But over at 6-8, 9-13 on the season. Timberwolves giving up a ridiculous amount of points and assists to point guards. Obviously, those big time players like Garland scored 51, Brant 28, Drew Holiday 29, Cam Payne without CP3 at 23 and 8. But even looking at the lower volume players like Kendrick Nunn, who's having a horrible season, scored 9 points in 12 minutes. Westbrook with Von AD 18 and 3, Pat Bev 6 and 4. That's high numbers for him. And Cam Payne with Chris Bosh at 8 and 2 in like 14 minutes, I think. So I'm on that. And then I might be crazy, but I'm on 2 unders in that Atlanta and Sacramento game. So first one, Harrison Barnes, under 1.5 3-pointers. It's -140. But FanDuel had it up to -156, and Fox even had it at -175. He's over in 4-10 in November and just 4-16 in the season. He's had a good stretch scoring recently, scoring 26, 27, 16, 16. Going over his prop and points prop in all 4, but only going over the 1.5 threes in 2 of 4. Barnes has a high spot-up shot frequency in Sacramento, shooting the most spot-up shots on the team. He's shooting 2.3 of his threes from the above the break, majority of his 3-pointers. Hawks are not a great matchup for him. They allow the 5th lowest spot-up frequency and the lowest score frequency in spot-up situations, allowing the 3rd lowest 3-point percentage from above the break, where he's shooting the majority of his shots. And their opponents are actually only scoring 35% of their points in their games from 3, the 7th lowest in the league. Look back how small forwards who's played at least 20 minutes with 5 3-point attempts or less, even though he only averaged 3.6, just to give some room for some just to see some more data. And only small forwards only went over this 3-point line with under that criteria 4 or 12 times. You know, Barnes, one of the only old guys on this young team on the back-to-back. I think he takes a seat back today. The high game total doesn't scare me. Then going over to Trae Young. Trae Young under 2.5 3-pointers made. This one's going to be a little sketchy tonight, obviously, with the high game total, but he's actually gone under in November 9 times and under 13 of 16 on the season, which is kind of surprising. But that does include 9 games with 2 3-pointers made, so be cautious. But obviously, I don't love the play mainly because of the hit rate. That doesn't mean much to me. It's more the matchup. Sacramento's allowing tied for the third least 3-point attempts from above the break, where Trae's attempting 88% of his threes. And their opponents are also scoring the 4th lowest percent of their points from 3. And, with the bonus under the basket, there's definitely more incentive to attack the paint tonight. And according to FanDuel, Sacramento's allowing the 8th most 3-pointers to point guards. But as I often mention, those stats can be kind of skewed by things like pace, high-low volume scoring players, just guys being listed at different positions on different websites. And when I look back through the season, only 2 of 9 point guards with at least 4 3-point attempts have gone over 3 3-pointers made. And the only 2 players were actually Steph Curry and Russell Westbrook, surprisingly. I'm aware, obviously, a game the high game total might scare some people, but there's too many stats behind this. I really like it.
Love it, Bookie. I love that Harrison Barnes look. It's crazy you said that because I know a lot of people don't look towards unders in the first place, but I love that you do because I enjoy actually playing unders as well. It could be a tight, a sweat, but most of the times they do cash. But I think looking at unders on a day when it's so much to like as far as overwise, makes it even better. A guy like Harrison Barnes, who is an older guy, we don't look for him to be as involved, especially on the second night of a back-to-back. You would think that, Coach Mike Brown might look for, other guys to step up in that role. So I love that look. It kind of crossed my mind earlier, Bookie, to look at, under for Harrison Barnes, just because, like I said, he's an older guy playing on the second night of a back-to-back. And they have really good wing defenders. We know that they like to run you off the 3-point line as well. So love those looks, Bookie. I hope you cash them. And
hey, Chris.
Yeah, what's up, man?
We just got all the Nuggets lineup news.
I just saw that. So Jokic looks like he's the only one that's playing. Jokic is in. Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. are both out. That makes it interesting. Let's finish up and then we can talk about that game and we can go back and talk about the Heat game too if y'all want to, because I know there's a lot of injury news in that one. Let me kick it to Snag real quick and then I'm gonna come to Cam and then we'll double back around to those games. Just real quickly, I'll give you guys what I'm looking at. What up, Snag?
What up, Chris? What's going on? Mine's pretty short and simple. It's a 4-pick parlay. DeAnthony Melton again over them 2.5 threes.
Okay.
Luka over 31.5. The Cavs on the money line and Giannis double is plus 640.
Plus 640.
Yep.
And that hold on, Snag. Say it one more time. You got
DeAnthony Melton over the 2.5.
So DeAnthony Melton over 2.5 threes.
Yeah, Luka over 31.5.
Okay.
The Giannis PPD and then Cavs money line.
So Giannis double in the win and then the Cavs money line. That's what was that, Snag? Plus what? 6 what?
Plus 640.
Plus 640. Ooh, okay. I like that, Snag.
Yeah, the Anthony Melton and the Luka play. I mean, Luka normally get off against Boston. I mean, going against Luka, like you told me that one day, going against Luka is like playing with fire. But the only person that's gonna stop Luka is himself.
Yeah, I honestly, Snag, the way Boston playing right now, I don't even think they're trying to stop anybody from scoring. I think they're just trying to outscore people. So I like that look, Snag. I think Giannis should get the rebounds. I feel like if I was to play a parlay like that, the only thing that wouldn't hit would be, Giannis would have 37 points and 9 rebounds. So I'd miss. That's why I don't parlay. But I like it, Snag. I hope you cash it, my boy. Appreciate you sharing.
How I feel about Vucevic. Any chance I can get my boy
That's a fact. That's a fact, Snag. That's a fact.
But that DeAnthony Melton play, though, I'm running it till it's broke. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. He the only person on Philly that's gonna shoot. You saw what he did yesterday.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. That's a fact. I couldn't talk you over that one at all, bro. Like I said, I hope you cash it. I appreciate you sharing that one too, Snag. Cam, let me kick it to you real quick before we double back around. What's up, Cam?
Yo, what's good? So I got a couple real quick, and I'm gonna just jump into it because we kind of know we have information tonight. So first off, we're gonna go to the Raptors game. Fred VanVleet's out, Scotty's out, everybody's out. But the Raptors don't really lay down, so I don't think it'll be a blowout. Playing Thaddeus Young over 11.5 plus 102. That being plus money is kind of crazy to me. I should be playing up to 15. He kind of clears this basically every time everybody's out. Coach trusts him a lot, loves him. He plays 35 or 30 plus minutes when most of the guys out. He's that fill-in dude. He plays more minutes than Boucher, so 11 and a half doesn't make sense. And just based on he hits it basically every single time that the lineup's fucked up. Also, same game though. OG Anunoby over 22 and a half at minus 110. Again, same thing. Like there's someone's got to shoot. And the way the Raptors play is it's not like our offense runs through one player ever. We run multiple systems, right? And OG's he's taken over since Pascal's been out. He averages when Pascal's out over 25 basically. So 22 and a half is just me being safe because I got a bunch of units out. So
what is that? Cam, what is that? What is that 22 and a half, Cam? Is that PRA?
No, 22 and a half is just points.
Oh,
Points.
just points. Okay.
No Scotty.
Okay.
No Pascal. There's no Fred. It's going to be him and Gary Trent Jr. trading shots. There is an interesting look for Gary Trent Jr. I can't find it yet. They haven't put it out. It will be his steals. Coach called him out recently and basically said,
I saw that, Cam. I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Playing the passing lane, what's going on? He's like, well, yeah, if he ain't doing that, he shouldn't be here. So I'm waiting for the steals line to come out because I have a feeling Gary Trent Jr. obviously listen to that. He's going to get him some steals tonight and be like, I'm going to be here, coach.
Right.
You can also play his points if you think he's going to listen to that in that sense too. But it's just for me, when things like that happen, you want to look for what was being called out. What is the coach telling you to go do? And Gary Trent Jr. does have a propensity to get steals when he tries and goes out there. So coach is basically saying, you ain't playing like you did last year. So what's going on? Kevin Huerter, like everybody else, 14 and a half too low. And I went back to Old Faithful, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. For real, who's guarding him? Who's guarding him tonight? So this is the thing with Shea. At this point, if it's under 30, 29 and a half, you just got to play it minus 110. Unapologetically play it because, I mean, like, again, there's just nobody who can guard him right now, and there's definitely nobody in Denver who's guarding him. So
that's a fact. That's a fact.
You know what I mean? It's like, I don't even feel bad if it loses because it's just like, I feel bad if I don't bet it and it wins because I'm like, it was right there.
Right.
Stare me in the face.
Right.
30 points.
Free money. I just let it go. Yeah.
Free money, right? Just bet it. So those are my plays for now. Oh, yeah. I think it was your man Vaughn. He made a good point about Vanderbilt, and I probably will play his rebounds and assists. His assists go up like crazy when Conley's out. And all he does is rebound and pass the ball. Like, I have him on my fantasy team, and the guy's like averages like 5 assists when Conley's out, and he averages like 9 boards. So his line is 11 and a half. I actually just went and looked at when Vaughn was speaking about that, and I think it's like minus 112. So I'll probably play that too, because I think that line just makes sense. With no Conley, he's going to go to the distributor role. So that was actually a good look that I looked up while I was listening. So I'll probably play it. I just haven't looked as deep to give it out just yet.
Okay. Hey, I appreciate the look.
And the final thing, my bad.
No, you good. You good.
I'm watching Bruce Brown's line at rebounds and assists, and I'm gonna get my money back when that comes out. Because if that's anywhere around 11 and a half or 10 and a half, I'm getting it back from what happened last night. Because with everybody out, his usage is gonna go right back up. He almost hit it last night with like 25 minutes. He had 9 rebounds, and he had nine combined. If it's at 10 and a half or 11 and a half, I'm not gonna be afraid to play it. But it's not out yet, obviously. So
Right. No, I like the look. I like that look as well. Also for your point, Cam, on SGA points, I think having Jokic being rolled in is enough for SGA to still need to score 30 points. You know what I mean? So I like that look a lot. I think that adds fuel to the fire for, I think that only helps SGA to go over his player over his points and at 29 and a half as well. Like that look a lot. So a couple things I wanted to mention real quick. So I posted a tweet up top. If you guys go all the way over to the first tweet, if you just scroll over to the first tweet, Moo boxing with Moo actually tweeted, added me and shared that with me. I think that's an interesting look that might be worth a sprinkle. I talked about Nick Richards, his rebounds being at 5.5. I actually played it. Excuse me. I played it half unit play over 5.5. It was plus 116 when I took it. It's just never offered to us. So I love that look. And you see that he parlayed the double-double. 10 points and 10 rebounds is plus 1890. And you guys see in the write-up, he said that he had a double-double in his last 2 games with 11 points and 10 rebounds and 13 points and 14 rebounds. Now you get a who are they playing? You get a 76ers team that's extremely short-handed and on the second night of a back-to-back with road with home road back-to-back travel, I like the spot for Nick Richards tonight. I think the only thing that kind of stops him from being able to get the double-double and the rebounds is probably, just the lack of minutes. So hopefully Coach Clifford, puts him out there for enough time so he can actually, get the rebounds. Because like I said, the guy's massive. He swallows rebounds. Like it's pretty simple for him to be able to go in and grab the boards. So I wanted to share that real quick. As far as the stars will be stars parlay, if I'm having to pick something in every single one of these games, or not every single one, but I'm gonna just go with I typically don't put a number on it, but let's just say, wow, CJ McCollum just got ruled out. That team total is now going to drop for the Pelicans. That was 118.5 that I told you guys about. I already played it, but I would probably wait until that line comes back out. That just came out of nowhere. And that's also going to make the game a little more competitive too. Jose Alvarado props definitely got to be in play now with that news. And I would also look at Brandon Ingram. His assist line will probably jump, but his points and assists probably in play. And I think the Spurs make this game competitive too. So especially without CJ, I would be looking at Brandon Ingram and Jose Alvarado in that game. But going back to, like I was talking about, the stars will be stars parlay. Well, let me tell you guys what I'm official on first. Then I'll do the stars will be stars parlay real quick. So Timberwolves -1, talked about that one already. Kings plus the 5.5. Halliburton, I took the points, rebounds, and assists over 34.5. That was the third play. The Pelicans team total over 118.5. I don't know if they get there without CJ McCollum. I think that they still could, but maybe not. Probably not. It'll probably drop and you can get it a better number if you haven't played it yet. That's the fourth play I'm on. The Warriors actually is 5.5. I had it written down at 6. It's actually 5.5 in the first half. That's a play courtesy of Ronald Kabang. I really love that play. Heard his breakdown. Want to give him credit for that one. That's the fifth play. The Jazz first half -6.5. That's the seventh play. Dinwiddie, I played his points and assists at over 20.5. How many plays is that? I'm losing track. That's the last play though. That's the last play that I actually made official. Is the Spencer Dinwiddie over 20.5 points plus assists. I think he could go out here and score 20 points. I don't think that his shoulder is too banged up, and I expect him to, need to be a big part of trying to keep pace with this Boston Celtics offense. I do think the total is a tad bit too low as well, especially when you get Tatum back in. So that's what I wanted to mention. If we're doing the stars will be stars parlay, I'm gonna tell you guys what I like, and I'm gonna actually play this. I'm gonna play this too. And we only got about 20 minutes before the games actually start. So first game, Portland, Cleveland. I think that Portland will keep this game close. I think Cleveland wins the game, of course. I think they win by margin, but I don't know if they cover the 7. So I think if the game is going to be that close, you got to look at, I would take Darius Garland. He's been balling at the crib, and I think taking him at 23.5 is a leg that I would add. So I'm going to add that one. Let's see. Yeah, let's add Darius Garland over 23.5. Y'all can do this if y'all want to. Y'all don't have to. The 76ers in the Charlotte Hornets game, it's not a star in this game. So I'm probably going to sit this one out and just skip this game altogether. Gordon Hayward, I think you could look at 16.5. I'm not playing anything in that one. I do think you could, of course, look at Terry Rozier at 19.5, but I'm trying to be confident in this one. Indiana Pacers and the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think adding Halliburton. I know Ben talked about it. I talked about it. Halliburton sitting at 19.5. I think he scores, I talked about how bad the Timberwolves defense is against point guards. And I know that we expect him to facilitate, but I also think that he'll be able to score in this one. So I like the over 19.5 for Halliburton if I'm playing, a player prop in this game. I think he could score 25 points and still have, 13, 14 assists as well. So I'm looking there in that game. Continuing along, I think in the Kings and the Hawks game, my favorite play is probably Trey. I think Trey probably goes for 30 today. Trey's at 28.5. But I also feel like you got to look at DeJounte. DeJounte had a bad game in Cleveland in a game that we were right on the other day. So honestly, I don't know where I want to go in that one. Let's go DeJounte, especially if we think Trey gonna have the ball. DeJounte to bounce back at the crib. Let's go DeJounte over the 21.5. or you could take DeJounte at 20 points. Take him at 20 if you want to as well. Also, De'Aaron Fox points still at 24.5. That might be the actual best look. I know a lot of people on Herder today. So I couldn't talk anybody off, wanting to take Herder at 14.5. I think that's a pretty good look as well. But I think, just kind of looking at this now, I think I still like Fox to score 25, man. Even over DeJounte scoring 22. I think DeJounte could finish the game with 20. I think Fox probably finished the game closer to 30 than he does to 20. Than he does to 25. So give me Fox over 24.5 in that one. Dallas and Boston. Couldn't talk anybody off Luka. Even if you wanted to take Luka down to 30 and add it to this one. Jaylen Brown's at 24.5. If Tatum is really, injured to that point, he might not be able to get there. And this is projected to be a lower scoring game. So Tatum point prop is actually down from 27.5 to 26.5. I think you got to look at Luka in this one. I think Luka. I talked about Spencer Dinwiddie. He's not really a star though. I think you got to look at Luka. I'm gonna just go Luka 30. That's minus 170. Wizards and the Heat. I'm not looking at anything in that one. Brooklyn and Toronto. Not really looking at anything in that one. Yeah, I'm probably gonna skip that one. It could be a Kevin Durant night. It could be a Kyrie Irving night. I'm not trying to pick and choose between who bounces back between those two guys. Thaddeus Young being at 11.5, like you said, though, Cam, is a really good look. I'm not adding him, though. OKC and Denver, I do think you have to look at. We talked about SGA over 29.5. I like that look a lot. Jokic points is at 23.5 as well. Without the guys, it could just be him. I like Jokic to go over. Second night of a back-to-back, I'm probably going to stay off of it. Yeah, I'll probably stay off of that one. Just take the SGA over to 29.5. Bulls and the Bucks. DeRozan. I think it's a DeRozan game. 24.5. I see him at. I couldn't talk anybody off Giannis. Just taking Giannis at 30. I think he gets there as well. DeRozan just strikes me as the alpha. He's the alpha male right now in this offense. So I think I go DeRozan 25 points tonight if I had to pick a side in that one. Detroit and Utah, I'm not taking anything in that one. And then this Clippers and Warriors game, I think it's blowout potential in that one. So I probably won't take anybody points in that one either. Clay's at 18.5. He's been balling, back at the crib as well. Could definitely see him going off. Reggie Jackson, as Ben talked about earlier, I love him at 15.5, 14.5. You can get that number, but he's not a star, so I probably won't add that either. So yeah, that's what I got. I got 6 legs. I'll read them back to you guys, and this is plus 38.07. I never play anything like this. So I got Garland 23.5. Oh, all these are overs, of course. Halliburton over 19.5. I got De'Aaron Fox over 24.5. Luka 30. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 29.5. DeMar DeRozan over 24.5. So take with that information and do what y'all want, man. Maybe you got a free bet. Maybe you want to put, a quarter unit. Maybe you want to put a tenth of a unit. But that's what I got for you guys as far as stars will be stars, what I would actually do tonight. Yeah, I locked it in. I put a tenth of a unit on it. Just quick capping real quick. Snag, I see your hand back up. I'm gonna come to you and then come back to Vaughn.
Yeah, I forgot to mention it earlier, but I made the same game parlay. I put it in the jumbotron. Take what y'all like.
Okay, bet. Appreciate that. Vaughn, what's up? What you have something you want to add?
Yeah, man, real quick. November 23rd, 2022. I've been in Chris Spaces since the beginning of time. This is the first time I've ever heard Chris have more than 5 official plays. So that's a lot of shit to like on this board tonight. I'm writing this day down. I've never heard Chris with 7, 8 official plays.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact, bro. That's a fact, bro. Let me see. Let me make sure I got all of them. So Timberwolves -1, Kings plus 5.5, Halliburton over 34.5 points, rebounds, and assists. That Pelicans team total that I don't like as much without CJ at over 118.5. That's 4. The Warriors first half minus 5.5. That's 5. Excuse me. Spencer Dinwiddie over 20.5 points and assists. That's 6 plays that I'm official on today that I really, really like. And I might end up tweeting out a couple more, honestly. We don't got no basketball games tomorrow, so it's no morning show for me. I'm gonna relax, I'm gonna chill, much needed day off. And we'll be back at it soon. And Nick Richards. I forgot about Nick Richards. I didn't write his name down, but yeah, I'm official on Nick Richards too, over the 5.5 rebounds. So yeah, I'll get all those written up and tweeted out for you guys. That's the most plays I think I've had in a very, very long time. And also, Vaughn, I'm gonna go out on a limb, bro. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna add one more, Vaughn. And I don't know if I should do this or not, but I'm gonna do it, man. I'm playing the Timberwolves, Vaughn, first quarter. I'm playing the first quarter, Vaughn. One thing I looked at real quick while people was talking, man. I'm gonna pull this up real quick, and then I'm getting up out of here. I've been live for an hour and 40 minutes. One thing I looked at, if you look at the Timberwolves in their away wins this year, right, which we expect them to win, they are 3-0 ATS, 4-0 straight up, of course. The first quarter, they're coming out and dominating the first quarter. 36.5 points to 21.2 points. That's a 15-point margin in the first quarter. Another thing I looked at, just in the Timberwolves wins in general, when they win the game, they win the first quarter by 10 points, 35-25. I'm pretty sure that's the biggest margin in the first half. So I'm sorry, in the first quarter. So I am going to play the Timberwolves, on this baby point spread. Probably I haven't placed this bet yet, but I'm gonna add that one as well. Let me see what I can get it at so I can give it to you guys official. But I'm gonna play this as well. I'm gonna play the Timberwolves.
Shit, it's minus 0.5.
That's what I'm talking about, bro. That's what I'm talking about, bro. I'm adding that one too, man. So we got a first quarter play in here as well. And you can actually just take the money line if you wanted to. The money line's minus 124 is what I see it at. If you want to take the spread, they have to be winning by 1 point. If you take the money line and it's a tie, you get the push, of course. But if you take the spread, it's minus 110. You just need the Timberwolves to be winning by 1 point. So love that you only need them to be winning by 1 point. Like I said, you guys can see the numbers. It's not just what I'm saying, but you guys can see the numbers. When the Timberwolves win the game, they typically win the first quarter by 10 points. So give me the Timberwolves early in this one as well. I don't know if it's the most accurate play, the one I feel the most confident in, but I do expect them to win the game. Already went official with them minus the 1. So yeah, give me Timberwolves first quarter minus the 0.5 too. Best of luck to you guys and all the action that you guys have in. I'll see you guys back again on Friday. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone as well, man. Enjoy your family, enjoy your friends. Enjoy your food, enjoy football tomorrow, and we'll be back Friday morning, 7 a.m. Cashed It with Chris. Y'all tap back in with me, man. Best of luck on everything that you guys got going on tonight, man. I'm out.